This is going to get technical. Well, what did I say? Average and compound. Compound averages. Compound averages. Maybe we should start with an example here. If I could read it, I'd probably do it. Which one should we do first? My spectacles here. I guess here's an example. We can talk about this. Okay. Let's say, because grades are relatively important to you, let's say we have taken, I don't know, 12 quizzes. On 12 quizzes, Tyler averaged probably not very good. Let's say he averaged a 91%. He then took a test that was worth 4 quiz grades and got a 96%. What was his average for math class? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay, here is where most people go wrong. They see this, they see 2 percentages and they go, well, when we find average, we just add up 2 numbers. It's a 91 and a 96. Add those together and I get 187, and then divide by 2, I get a 17. Wait, that can't be right. Did I do that wrong? 780 divided by 2. Oh, 93.5%. To which I would say, no, that is not right. Why is that not right?
Why is it not right?
Oh, because it was 4
Because it's 4 questions. So
Right.
I have to ask for 4.
But that's still, even if I did it 4 times, even if I put 4 96s in there, it still would not be right.
12 91s.
Right. Okay, you have to think, you cannot just, when you're taking averages of averages, in other words, I already had this average, this was already an average. And this technically was also an average. This was an average of 12 grades, this was an average of 4 grades. You can't just take these 2 and put them together and find the average, because there are a whole lot more grades here than there are here, which are going to mean it's going to be closer to this than it is that. When you find averages, you must find, and here's the key, you have to do total over total. You can't, the only time averages, you can average averages would be as if they had the exact same amount of weight to them. In other words, if I would have had 12 quiz grades, that would have been this, and then I would have had 12 more grades that would have been of 96. Because they're exactly equal as far as how many they represent, you could have then taken the average of those and you'll get the same thing. But there are 12 of these, and there are only 4 of those. So you can do the math however you want to do that. I guess what it would look like is this. You know, you would have 12 91s. 91 12s. 12 91s. I can't even write that thing. This is really what you have, 12 91s and 4 96s. However you want to add that, so you're going to add all those together and divide it all by 16, because that's how many really total grades you have. The easiest way to do that, you know, probably take 91 times 12, which is what? 180. 82 and 91. 1,092 there, and then you have 496s, which is what, 24, 236, 384. Add those together because that's your total points. 1,476, and then you have to divide that by your total number of grades, which is 16. If you were guesstimating, you know, your percent should be closer to the 91 because there's a lot more of them than to the 96. So if I was guessing, I would probably do what, 93, maybe 92 something. 1476. I hope this works out. I hate it when I fail after all this. I'm gonna put a 9 there, just assuming I get at least that far right. Yeah, and then 36. 16 goes into 36 twice, which is 32, and then you get a fourth percent. 92.25% would be your percentage there. So you always have to watch out for that anytime you're finding averages. It's always total amount over total numbers. You can't take averages of averages. Another example of that would be this. Right here. Write this one down. This one comes right out of the book. I see this 1,000 times. People get it wrong all the time. The 120-mile trip took 3 hours. The 120-mile trip took, did I say 3 hours?
Yeah.
3 hours. The traffic was lighter on the return trip. The return trip took 2 hours. Find the average speed. Find the average speed. Well, speed is distance over time, correct? You know, you could, let's look at it this way, I guess. How fast was this trip?
40 miles.
You're going 40 mph there, right? And this time you did the same distance in 2 hours, so you're going 60 mph. Now in this case, would 50 mph be right as an average speed?
It looks right, but it probably isn't.
Again, don't go by what you think, go by what you will know now. And I said, always take total over total. How many total miles did you go there and back?
120.
What's
Oh,
that?
there and back?
There and back.
240.
240. What was the total amount of time? 3 hours there, 2 hours back? 5. Is that going to give us 45? Oh, wait, no, 50? I don't think so. Divide 240 by 5, you get 4. It's actually 48 miles per hour is your average speed, not the 50 that you were thinking. You always have to take total over total. Do not ever take averages over averages and find averages of averages. 48 miles per hour. There's a good case in point. You would think, because of this, that it was 50 mph, but it is not. Don't work that way. Another example of something they'll ask you is this. After 3 games of bowling, which we go next week, I think.
Wait, really? Next week?
I think so. Gabe averaged 88. Gabe with the capital G averaged 88 pins per game. His average score was 88 per game. What score would he have to get to raise his average to 90? What score on his 4th game would he have to get an average of 90? And once again, let's talk about what not to do, okay? You might think this, well, in order to average 90, for those two averages, you have to get 180, right? Because 180 divided by 2 would give you 90. So you'd have to say, well, 88 plus what number is 180? Do the subtracting there, you get 7, 10, 2, what is that, 92? But that would not be right for the simple fact that,
There's more than.
yeah, he has 3 games of this and he only has 1 game to get it up to 90. So in order to do that, you'd have to figure out, he has 4 games, right? He's bowling 4 games, right?
Yeah.
Right, mister.
Right, Mr.
In order to get an average of 90 for 4 games, how many total pins would that be? 4 times 90. In order to get an average of 4 games to be 90, you'd have to get a total of 360 pins total. Well, how many pins does he have right now? Well, he had 3 games of 88. He's got 3 88s. So far he has a total of 24, 224, 264. He needs to get 360, so you have to do the subtracting there. He is going to need 96 pins, as opposed to the 92 that if you would have done it without taking all. It's always, have I said, it has to be the total over total when you do this. You can't just take an average part and fit it into that sort of thing. You are saying, hey, let's try this. Look in your books on page 699. Which one, A, B, or C in the practice? Letter A. J. Rod earns $12 an hour helping a painter and $15 an hour helping a carpenter. What is Jared's average hourly rate for the week if he helps the painter for 10 hours and the carpenter for 20 hours? In other words, you need to figure out, you have to take the total amount of money he earned divided by the total number of hours he worked, and that would give you the hourly rate. You just can't take $15 and add it to $12 and take an average of that. Why? Because he worked more at one job than he did at the other job. If you'd only worked 10 hours at both of them, that would work, and you'd end up getting what? Half of $3, $13.50 or whatever. But that's not going to be what it is. It has to be total over total.
How do you know which total goes on top and which one goes on bottom?
Well, money you're talking, what do you talk, when you talk about wage, you're talking how many dollars per hour. So dollars would go on top. Total dollars made over total hours worked would help tell you how much money he made per hour. Weighted average. We will be out of this book before you know it. There's no one. Total money made divided by total hours worked will give you overall average for everything. Here I don't see pencils moving, so I have to question what's going on there. But once it's $12 an hour painting. Our carpeting. Do we get an answer, Abram?
$14.
Abram says 14. Are we on the same bucket as Abram there? If you worked $12, the painter for 10 hours, so $12 times 10, he made $120 painting. This person here, he worked for how long?
20 hours, 1 hour.
20 hours, which is 20 times 15, $300. All total, he made $420. And how many total hours did he work? 30. If you do that division, you get $14 per hour. $14 per hour, total over total. Do that, you'll never